Memory loss can hit anyone, even me. You know, the kind of brain fog where you walk into a room and forget why you went there, or where you left your keys, or even your glasses? Yes, that happened to me yesterday. I'm telling you, short-term memory loss isn't just confusing. It can be downright funny sometimes. And if you've ever experienced brain fog or those fuzzy brain symptoms that come with age, I promise you're not alone. It all started this morning when I woke up with that familiar mental fog, the kind that makes your head feel heavy, like there's a cloud sitting on top of your brain. I was trying to get ready for my morning coffee, and of course, the first thing I needed were my glasses. But guess what? I couldn't find them anywhere. I looked on the table, on the couch, in the kitchen. Brain fog? Definitely. Short memory lapses? Absolutely. Now here's the funny part. I had actually been wearing my glasses the whole time. I had been walking around the house with them perched on my nose, completely unaware. That's when I realized maybe I'm not just dealing with normal forgetfulness. Maybe it's mild cognitive impairment creeping in, or even one of the early signs of dementia. But you know what? Even when your memory loss or signs of senility make you question yourself, there's something strangely comforting about laughing at yourself. Memory loss, short-term memory lapses, and brain cloudiness can happen to anyone as they age, and it's something that the Alzheimer's Association and many experts talk about all the time. While dementia, Alzheimer's, or even Lewy body dementia are serious conditions, moments like these remind me that life is still full of little surprises and laughter, even if it comes at your own expense. And here's why I'm sharing this with you today. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to tell you about a new discovery that could help a lot of people dealing with confusion, memory loss, and the fear of Alzheimer's or dementia. You don't want to miss it. So there I was, squinting through my glasses, pretending to search everywhere, asking myself, where did I put them? It's that kind of retrograde amnesia moment, or maybe even a case of frontal lobe dementia. Who knows? All I knew was that my brain cloudiness was giving me a funny story for you to hear today. Speaking of memory loss, have you ever experienced that dissociative amnesia type of moment? Maybe global amnesia or even transitory amnesia. I think the technical terms are fascinating, but what really matters is that we can all relate to those mini moments of confusion. Everyone has a few short-term memory lapses, sometimes daily. And if you've ever worried that these small, forgetful moments might be early onset dementia or just normal aging, I get it. That fear is real, and it's why we need to pay attention to our brain health. Memory loss diseases, signs of dementia in men or women, and even early onset Alzheimer's are serious topics, but sometimes they intersect with everyday humor in the most unexpected ways. Like yesterday, when I spent 10 minutes looking under the couch for my glasses that were on my face the whole time. Brain fog symptoms? Check. Foggy head symptoms? Check. The funny thing is, I'm not embarrassed. I'm telling you this because you might laugh with me, relate to me, and maybe even comment your own stories below. Speaking of which, I'd love for you to engage. Have you ever had one of those days where your memory just fails? Maybe you misplaced your keys, forgot someone's name, or walked into a room and completely forgot what you needed. Write it in the comments. I promise you're not alone. The signs of dementia or memory loss can feel scary, but sharing these moments reminds us that we all go through it. Before I get into the next part of my day, where things get even funnier and slightly more chaotic, let me emphasize short-term memory loss, retrograde amnesia, mild cognitive impairment, and brain cloud symptoms are things that deserve attention. While laughing at our forgetful moments can be therapeutic, it's also important to be aware of early signs of dementia, types of dementia, or even early onset Alzheimer's, so we can take action before things get worse. So, if you're ready for the most hilarious story of the day, one that involves a cup of coffee, a missing newspaper, and, of course, my trusty glasses, you'll want to stick around. Memory loss, confusion, and brain fog might be part of getting older, but sometimes they make for the best stories. And by the end of this video, I'll share that discovery that could help anyone who's worried about Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, or even just occasional brain fog. Stay with me because what I'm about to tell you next isn't just a funny story. It's something that might give hope to anyone watching who's struggling with memory issues, confusion, or fear of early signs of dementia. Short-term memory loss can be sneaky, and I realized it early this morning. After the whole glasses on my face fiasco, I went to make my coffee. I grabbed the mug from the cabinet, filled it with water, added coffee grounds, and then realized I had already poured coffee into another mug across the kitchen. Brain fog symptoms were definitely in full force. I had that fuzzy brain sensation where everything feels slightly off, like your brain is wrapped in cotton. I took a sip of the wrong cup and immediately knew something was off. I thought. This tastes like soap. You guessed it. I had accidentally poured coffee into my grandson's cup that had soap residue from washing dishes. Short memory lapses are tricky because even a simple task can become a maze of mistakes. Mild cognitive impairment? Maybe. Brain fog? Absolutely. And if you've ever experienced the early signs of dementia or just brain cloudiness, you know how embarrassing these moments can be, but also how funny they are in hindsight. This reminded me of a story from yesterday. I had been looking for my keys for nearly 15 minutes. I searched the living room, the kitchen, even the bedroom. I was mumbling about retrograde amnesia and thinking maybe I'm developing early onset Alzheimer's. Then, as I sat down, feeling completely defeated, I realized the keys were in my hand the whole time. That's a classic example of memory loss diseases showing up in everyday life. Have you ever had one of those moments where your mind just blanks completely? Maybe it's a form of global transitory amnesia or even psychogenic amnesia. Whatever the case, it can happen to anyone. I remembered reading about the Alzheimer's Association and their research on different types of dementia, like frontotemporal dementia or Lewy body dementia, and how early detection can make a huge difference. But in that moment, I was just trying to laugh at myself and keep going. Later in the day, I tried to water my plants. I picked up what I thought was my watering can, went outside, and started pouring water on the flowers. After a few moments, I noticed the water was running over the patio instead of the soil. I had grabbed the container of dish soap again by mistake. My short memory lapses were turning my day into a comedy sketch. I paused for a second, thinking about how brain fog and mild cognitive impairment can make even routine tasks a challenge. But instead of panicking, I laughed. I thought, if this is what retroamnesia feels like, maybe life just wanted to give me a gentle reminder to slow down. Speaking of slowing down, there was another incident with my wallet. I needed to check a receipt for groceries, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember where I put it. I searched my pockets, the kitchen counter, and even the freezer. Yes, the freezer, because in my brain fog, anything is possible. Finally, I found it in the refrigerator next to the milk. Short-term memory loss term? Check. Fuzzy brain symptoms? Check. And if this were a case of early onset dementia, I might have been worried. But honestly, the absurdity of it all was hilarious. I want to pause here for a moment and ask you, has this ever happened to you? Have you misplaced something so completely that it turned into a mini adventure around your house? Write it down in the comments. Sharing these moments helps everyone feel connected, especially if you've noticed signs of senility, early signs of dementia, or even brain cloudiness creeping in. Then came the grand finale of the day's adventures, my attempt to cook lunch. I decided to make scrambled eggs. I cracked an egg into the pan. Or so I thought. Brain fog causes all sorts of short memory lapses, and somehow I ended up cracking the egg into a cup of coffee. Retrograde memory loss? Could be. Short memory term lapses? Definitely. I paused, stared at the mess, and thought about the different types of dementia like vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, and even frontal lobe dementia, wondering if these moments were just funny mistakes or early warning signs. As I cleaned up, I realized that even in the midst of forgetfulness, there's a strange joy in these little chaos-filled stories. Losing memory occasionally, having amnesia moments, or experiencing dissociative amnesia doesn't always have to be scary. Sometimes it's a reminder that life is unpredictable, and that's okay. Brain fog causes temporary confusion, yes, but it also gives you stories to share, like the time I poured eggs into coffee or when my keys were in my hand the entire search. Memory loss, brain cloudiness, short memory loss, signs of dementia, early onset Alzheimer's, these are terms we hear all the time, but when they intersect with everyday life, they become part of our story. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. There's a serious side to these funny incidents. Consistent brain fog or frequent memory lapses can be early signs of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or other cognitive issues. But at the same time, finding humor in these moments keeps us engaged, connected, and emotionally resilient. Before I move to the next part, let me leave you with this. Brain fog, short-term memory lapses, and amnesia moments happen to all of us, and while we laugh at them, it's important to pay attention to early signs of dementia, types of dementia, and even early onset Alzheimer's. But don't worry, I've got something incredible to share by the end of this video, a discovery that could help anyone concerned with memory loss, confusion, or brain cloud symptoms. Memory loss, brain fog, and those occasional short-term memory lapses can feel frustrating, but sometimes they also make for the best stories. After my morning adventures with glasses, coffee, keys, and eggs, I sat down in my favorite chair and thought, wow, my brain really has a mind of its own today. Mild cognitive impairment, retrograde amnesia, or just a bit of brain cloudiness, it doesn't matter. These moments reminded me that everyone experiences fuzzy brain symptoms at times. Even though we laugh at these situations, there's a serious side. Brain fog symptoms, signs of dementia, and early onset Alzheimer's aren't just funny, they're signals. Short-term memory loss, amnesia meaning, and dissociative amnesia can indicate that our brain needs a bit more care. And if you've ever been worried about vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, or frontal lobe dementia, you know that those worries aren't unfounded. It's important to pay attention to early signs of dementia, especially in men and women, because the earlier we notice, the better we can protect our memory. Now, here's something interesting. While I was laughing at myself spilling eggs into coffee and searching the freezer for my wallet, I started thinking about how brain fog and memory loss can sneak up slowly. Some days, it's just small things, forgetting where you put your glasses or keys. But over time, it can grow into something bigger if left unchecked. Early signs of dementia, mild cognitive impairment, or even early onset Alzheimer's can all start as tiny lapses in memory. That's why stories like mine aren't just entertaining, they're a reminder to stay aware. Speaking of awareness, have you ever noticed those foggy head symptoms or fuzzy brain symptoms in yourself or a loved one? Maybe it's brain cloudiness after lack of sleep, or maybe it's just a short memory lapse. Either way, recognizing it is key. Brain fog causes can be simple, like stress or sleep deprivation, or more serious, like the early onset of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. And while it's easy to laugh at a cup of coffee with eggs in it, these small signs are important clues about our brain health. That's when I remembered reading about a new discovery in memory care and brain health. Experts, including the Alzheimer's Association and ALS Association resources, have been researching ways to help prevent memory loss, confusion, and early dementia. It's exciting because this discovery isn't just about treatment. It's about prevention and protection for anyone worried about losing memory, experiencing short memory term lapses, or battling brain fog. Before I go further, let me summarize today's story. I lost my glasses while wearing them, poured eggs into coffee, found my wallet in the freezer, and misused soap cups like a confused detective. Brain fog, short memory lapses, amnesia moments, and mild cognitive impairment were all part of my day. Yet through it all, laughter and awareness went hand in hand. Even when we joke about these incidents, they can signal something bigger: signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, or memory loss diseases. And here's the hopeful part: science is advancing, and there are ways to fight back. There's a new discovery that helps support memory, clarity, and focus, potentially reducing brain fog and even protecting against early onset Alzheimer's or dementia. It's not a miracle, but it's based on research and understanding how memory loss, short-term memory loss, and brain cloud symptoms occur. So, if you've ever felt those fuzzy brain symptoms, wondered about signs of dementia, or worried about memory loss diseases, here's the next step. You can take action, learn more, and potentially protect yourself before mild cognitive impairment or early onset Alzheimer's progresses. Remember, moments like my morning chaos are normal, but staying aware and informed is what keeps your brain healthier. Finally, before I reveal the details of this discovery, I want you to remember something important. Even when memory loss, brain fog, or amnesia retro moments make you feel confused, you're not alone. Millions of people experience short memory lapses and foggy head symptoms. And just like my stories, finding my keys in the wrong place, misusing everyday items, or spilling eggs into coffee, we can laugh, relate, and learn. The key is awareness and action. That's why I want you to do something right now. Click the link in the description and also the first pinned comment. There, you'll find a video explaining step by step this new discovery that could help anyone worried about memory loss, confusion, or even early onset Alzheimer's disease. It's easy to follow, practical, and based on the latest research. Whether you've experienced mild cognitive impairment, brain cloudiness, or those occasional fuzzy brain symptoms, this could make a difference in your daily life. And let me tell you a little secret. Even in moments of forgetfulness, life can be full of laughter, connection, and learning. The funny mishaps I shared today, losing glasses, eggs in coffee, searching the freezer, aren't just entertainment. They're a reminder that paying attention to our brain's health, understanding early signs of dementia, and exploring discoveries in memory care can help us protect our minds. So stay tuned for the final part of my story, where I'll share how this discovery works, why it matters, and how you can use it to fight brain fog, memory loss, and even early onset Alzheimer's. By the end, you'll see that even as we laugh at our forgetful moments, there's hope and action we can take to keep our brains sharper and our lives full of clarity. Memory loss, short-term memory lapses, and brain fog may seem like little quirks of aging, but the truth is, they can be early indicators of more serious conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's, or even Lewy body dementia. After all the chaos today, glasses on my face, eggs in coffee, and the freezer wallet hunt, I realized that while these moments are funny, they also remind us to pay attention. Mild cognitive impairment, brain cloudiness, and retrograde amnesia shouldn't be ignored. As I reflect on the day, I think about how easily we take our brain for granted. Signs of dementia in men and women, early onset Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, or even frontal lobe dementia can start subtly. A misplaced key here, a forgotten word there, small lapses that may seem harmless can grow if we don't act. But here's the good news: there's hope. And that's why I'm so excited to share this with you today. Earlier, I promised a discovery that could help anyone struggling with memory loss, brain fog, or confusion. And it's real. Research shows that there are methods and natural approaches that help support brain function, prevent short-term memory loss, and reduce fuzzy brain symptoms. The Alzheimer's Association and leading memory care specialists are focusing on ways to slow down cognitive decline, improve clarity, and even protect against early onset dementia. I want you to imagine this: waking up without that heavy brain cloud, remembering where your keys are, seeing clearly without confusion, and feeling confident in your memory. This discovery focuses exactly on helping people regain that clarity. It targets those short memory term lapses, dissociative amnesia moments, and brain fog symptoms that creep in silently. Early signs of dementia, memory loss diseases, and even mild cognitive impairment don't have to control your life. Let me tell you why it works. Memory loss and brain fog often start with small imbalances in brain function. By addressing these imbalances, whether through lifestyle, nutrition, or targeted techniques, you can significantly improve short-term memory lapses and overall brain clarity. Think of it as giving your brain a little tune-up, reducing the fuzzy brain symptoms and retro amnesia moments before they escalate. Now, back to my day, because stories help us connect. After discovering the keys were in my hand, the eggs in coffee incident, and the freezer wallet, I took a moment to reflect. Losing memory occasionally doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. But with the right tools, research, and knowledge, we can protect our minds. That's what this discovery is all about. It's not a magic pill. It's a practical, science-backed approach that helps anyone worried about brain cloudiness, memory lapses, or even early onset Alzheimer's. Here's the best part: you can start today. By clicking the link in the description or the first pinned comment, you'll access a full step-by-step guide explaining how this discovery works. It's designed for people who notice early signs of dementia, brain fog from lack of sleep, or mild cognitive impairment. Whether you're concerned about Alzheimer's disease treatment, short-term memory loss or brain fog remedies, this guide gives you actionable steps to protect your memory. Before I end, I want to leave you with a thought. Life may give us short memory lapses, amnesia moments, and brain fog, but it also gives us laughter, connection, and hope. My morning mishaps, losing glasses, spilling eggs, searching for my wallet, weren't just funny stories. They were reminders that even in moments of forgetfulness, there is opportunity to learn, improve, and take action for our brain health. Signs of dementia, early onset Alzheimer's, and memory loss diseases are serious, but they are manageable if we act early. So here's what I want you to do. Click that link. Watch the video in the description or pinned comment. Learn about this discovery. It could help anyone experiencing brain fog, short-term memory loss, fuzzy brain symptoms, or early signs of dementia. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of people face the same challenges every day, but with awareness and the right guidance, memory loss doesn't have to define your life. In closing, let me say this: memory loss, brain fog, mild cognitive impairment, and short memory term lapses are all part of the human experience. But through science, research, and simple actionable steps, we can protect our brains, reduce retrograde memory loss, and even prevent early onset Alzheimer's or dementia. And as for my glasses, eggs, and freezer adventures, they serve as a reminder that life is messy, funny, and full of lessons, even in forgetfulness. Click the link, watch the video, and take that first step toward clearer memory, sharper thinking, and peace of mind. The Alzheimer's Association, memory care specialists, and recent scientific discoveries are all pointing to one thing: prevention and awareness are powerful. Don't wait for memory loss to escalate. Act now, laugh along the way, and protect your brain for the years ahead.